Giant students, welcome to my YouTube channel. Students, family, love, laughter are what we should seek. These are the precious things right outside your door. Actually, a true family will always offer the comfort of hugs and the support of just being there when you need them. Even if you can do nothing else, hugging and being present for your family is the most important thing. With that positive note, students, let's begin today's session. In the previous lecture, we have discussed the formation of standing waves in the case of a stressed string. In this particular session, students, we'll be discussing standing waves in a pipe which is closed at one end and open at the other end. That is, we are talking about closed organ pipe. Now, students, the construction of closed organ pipe is similar to that of an open organ pipe, except that its one end is closed. Now, students, the waves are reflected from the closed end. As the closed end, it behaves like a denser medium. The incident and reflected waves superpose. This is suppose the incident wave. This is the incident wave. So it will get reflected from this closed end and it will bounce back into the same medium, right? This is the reflected wave. So the incident and this reflected waves superpose to form longitudinal stationary waves having fixed nodes and antinodes. We are aware, student, at the closed end, node will be formed, while on the other hand, at the open end, antinode is formed, right? These are the points which are permanently at rest, isn't it? Here the amplitude is zero, while antinode, it's the position where the amplitude is maximum. So when the frequency of the edge tone is equal to the frequency of vibration of the air column, then the resonance takes place and consequently a loud sound is heard. So we'll be discussing the standing waves in a closed organ pipe, right? So basically, students, when we blow air at this open end, then what happens is the wave pulse travels towards the closed end. And this incident wave moving along the positive x direction can be represented as, we are already aware of the standard equation of a progressive wave, isn't it? So the incident wave which is moving towards the positive x direction, that is closer towards the closed end, is represented by suppose the displacement is y1, it's equal to r is assumed to be the amplitude sine 2 pi by lambda vt minus x. Consider this to be equation number 1. Here lambda is the wavelength of the wave, v is the velocity of the wave, and r is the amplitude, right? And we are aware, students, the velocity, the frequency and the wavelength of the incident wave and the reflected wave would be same. The only thing is these two waves are of same amplitude, same frequency, same wavelength, same speed, but moving in the opposite direction. So when these two waves superpose, then it will give rise to stationary or standing waves, right? So this is the equation of the incident wave, which is moving towards right, that is towards the positive x direction. So L is, we are assuming it to be the length of the closed organ pipe, right? So this is the positive x direction. So students, now let's represent mathematically the reflected wave. Now the reflected wave is represented by, the reflected wave is represented by y2, it's equal to r sine 2 pi by lambda Vt minus, now this wave after reflection from this closed boundary will tend to move in the opposite direction. That is, it is now moving towards the negative x-axis. So here x will be replaced by minus x. And students, we are aware whenever the wave get reflected from a rigid boundary, from a closed boundary, from a denser medium, then what happens is there appears an additional phase change of pi, which is 180 degree. This is the additional phase change, right? So you need to be aware that whenever the wave get reflected from the rigid or the fixed boundary, it suffers a phase change of pi. I'll write it over here. There's a very, very important concept. Wave on getting reflected from a closed or fixed or a rigid boundary. It suffers a phase change of 180 degree. Or pi, right? So this is the important concept. So y2, it would be equal to, now look, this is 180 degrees. Sine 180 plus theta is equal to minus sine theta. So we'll be left with minus r sine 2 pi by lambda Vt minus minus, it will be plus x. So this is the equation for the reflected wave, right? The wavelength, the speed, everything will remain same. The amplitude, this negative sign suggests that this wave after reflection suffers an additional phase change of pi. And over here this plus sign, it represents that the reflected wave is traveling towards the negative x direction. Now students, we are aware these two waves, when they superpose at a point, then the resultant displacement as per the superposition principle it is given by y, it's equal to y1 plus y2, right? So let's substitute this value of y1 and y2 over here. So what we get is y is equal to r sine 2 pi by lambda Vt minus x, and substitute this value of y2 over here. So minus r sine 2 pi by lambda Vt plus x, right? So here r can be taken as common, students. So in case we take r as common, then in bracket we'll be left with sine 2 pi by lambda Vt minus x minus sine 2 pi by lambda Vt plus x, right? Now students, this is in the form of sine A minus sine B, right? Here we can consider this argument to be A. So it is 2 pi by lambda Vt minus x, and the argument of this is the argument which can be considered to be B. So it is 2 pi by lambda Vt plus x. So students, it's in the form of sine A minus sine B, and we are aware of this formula, isn't it? Sine A minus sine B, it is equal to twice sine A minus B by 2 multiplied by cos A plus B by 2. So this is the formula which we'll be using to evaluate it, right? So therefore, using this formula, what we get is y is equal to r. This is sine A minus sine B. It is twice, so it will become 2r sine A minus B by 2. So what I get is A minus B. So that is 2 pi by lambda Vt minus x minus B. 2 pi by lambda Vt plus x divided by 2, right? Multiplied by cos a plus b by 2, that is 2 pi by lambda Vt minus x plus 2 pi by lambda Vt plus x divided by 2. Now students, on evaluating, what we get is y it's equal to 2r sine. Now look, let's open this bracket. 2 pi by lambda Vt minus 2 pi by lambda Vt. It will get cancelled out. Here we'll be left with minus 2 pi by lambda x minus 2 pi by lambda x divided by 2. So that will give us minus 2 pi by lambda x. And over here, 2 pi by lambda x with negative sign, it will get cancelled with plus 2 pi by lambda x. So we'll be left with 2 pi by lambda Vt plus 2 pi by lambda Vt divided by 2. 2 being common, we'll be left with 2 pi by lambda into Vt, right? Now, sine being an odd function, it may also be written as y is equal to minus 2r sine 2 pi by lambda x. This is actually the amplitude, and cos 2 pi by lambda Vt. This we have already discussed in the previous lecture, where we were discussing the formation of standing waves in the case of a stressed string, right? The argument which is dependent on x, the position, this term, it represents amplitude. This is the amplitude of the stationary or the standing wave which is formed. This is the amplitude. So students, this is the standard equation of a stationary or a standing wave. And this term, it is known as the amplitude of the stationary wave. It varies with position x. Since the pipe is closed at the right end, that is at x equals to 0, and it is open at the left end, that is at x equals to L. Therefore students, obviously node, as we have discussed earlier, node will be formed at the right end and antinode will be formed at the open end. So therefore, this equation number 3, it must satisfy the boundary conditions. That is, first boundary condition is at x equals to 0. Here the node is formed. So obviously, the displacement would be 0 for all values of t. For all values of t. Right? So this we can easily check. It can be easily seen that this equation satisfies the first boundary condition. If we substitute the value of x equals to 0 over here, then sine 0 will be 0. 0 multiplied by anything will become 0. So y automatically will become 0. So this equation satisfies this first boundary condition, right? Now let's apply the second boundary condition. At the other extreme, students, at x equals to L. Now here, as I've stated, at the open end, the amplitude will be maximum. So this is the position of antinode. So y is equal to maximum for all values of t. So at x equals to L, y would be maximum only when this term is maximum, amplitude is maximum, isn't it? So therefore, students, this amplitude, it should be maximum. So the amplitude, which is amplitude of the stationary wave, which is twice r, this term is the amplitude. As I stated, this term is the amplitude. Twice r sine 2 pi by lambda x it should be equal to maximum for x equals to L, right? So when we substitute the value of x equals to L over here, then the maximum value of sine is plus minus 1 in either direction, right? So therefore, students, it's pretty evident that maximum amplitude, the condition would be sine 2 pi by lambda. In place of x, we need to write as L. It should have value of plus minus 1 on either direction. So that is when the amplitude can be maximum, isn't it? So therefore, students, it implies that sine 2 pi by lambda L, it's equal to, now sine 90 degree is equal to plus 1, sine 270 degree, it is equal to minus 1, and so on. So we can generalize it. So it can be written as sine 2n minus 1 pi by 2, right? Now suppose n is equal to 1, then it will be 2 minus 1 pi by 2, that is pi by 2, which will be equal to plus 1. For n equals to 2, it would be 3 pi by 2, which is 270 degrees. Sine 270 degrees minus 1. So this is the general term. Now students, this is the sine graph, right? Its value varies from minus 1 to plus 1. So this is the maximum amplitude in either direction, the positive direction and in the negative direction, isn't it? So for the amplitude to be maximum at the open end where the antinode is formed, sine 2 pi by lambda L, it should be equal to plus minus 1, isn't it? So students, plus minus 1. Now the value of sine is plus 1 when the angle is pi by 2. Minus 1 when it is 3 pi by 2. Again plus 1 when it is 5 pi by 2. Then 7 pi by 2. Then 9 pi by 2. Then 11 pi by 2. So it is an odd integral multiple of pi by 2. So the general term would be sine 2 pi by lambda L. It should be given by sine 2n minus 1 pi by 2, where n is to be initialized from 1. As we have discussed earlier also, n represents the modes of vibration. Corresponding to n equals to 1, it would be sine pi by 2, which is plus 1. Corresponding to n equals to 2, it would be 3 pi by 2, which is minus 1. Again, corresponding to n equals to 3, it would be 5 pi by 2, which is again plus 1, right? So this will be the general term for obtaining the value of sine as plus minus 1. So on comparing both these sides, what we get is 2 pi by lambda L, it is equal to 2n minus 1 pi by 2. Pi get cancelled. So what we are left with is L, it's equal to 2n minus 1 lambda divided by 4, right? So students, this is the condition for obtaining the maximum amplitude at the open end of the pipe, of the closed organ pipe, right? Here n is the mode of vibration. So corresponding to n equals to 1, this equation will give the first mode of vibration. Then corresponding to n equals to 2, it will give us the second mode of vibration. Corresponding to n equals to 3, it will give us the third mode of vibration. So we'll be discussing the different modes of vibration in case of a pipe closed at one end and open at the other end. That is, we are talking about closed organ pipe. Let us now discuss the various modes of vibration in the case of a closed organ pipe, right? Now we have derived this relationship. L is equal to 2n minus 1 lambda by 4. Here, n is the mode of the vibration. It is 1, 2, 3 and so on. Now corresponding to n equals to 1, it will give us, this equation will give us the first mode of vibration, right? So substituting the value of n equals to 1 over here, what we get is L, it's equal to Substitute the value of n as 1. So 2 minus 1 would be 1, lambda by 4. So it will be lambda 1 divided by 4. Now here lambda 1 is the wavelength of the standing wave setup corresponding to n equals to 1. That is, we are talking about first mode of vibration. So it can also be written as lambda 1, it's equal to 4L, right? So therefore students, in the first mode of vibration, L equals to lambda 1 by 4. That is, the length of the pipe will be equal to 1/4 of the wavelength of the wave. Let's show it in the diagram. This is the pipe whose length is considered to be L, right? This is the closed end of the pipe and this is the open end. We are aware at the closed end nodes are formed, while at the open end antinode will be formed, and the distance between antinode and a node is lambda by 4, isn't it? So the diagram would be like this. This is the corresponding diagram corresponding to n equals to 1, right? So the length of the pipe, it should be equal to 1/4 of the wavelength of the wave. So this is represented by this particular diagram. Now here, in case nu1 is considered to be the frequency of the wave setup in the case of first mode of vibration, then we are aware students, nu1 it's equal to velocity divided by lambda 1. This is the velocity of the sound wave, which is longitudinal wave, right? So nu1 corresponds to the frequency when n equals to 1, that is for first mode of vibration. Substituting the value of lambda 1 as 4L, what we get is nu1 is equal to V divided by 4L. This frequency nu1, it is known as the fundamental frequency. Nu1 is known as fundamental frequency. Students, it is also known as the pitch of the tone. This may be also termed as the pitch of the tone, or it is also known as the first harmonic. Right? It is actually the minimum frequency. So this is known as the fundamental frequency or pitch of the tone or the first harmonic. Now let us discuss the second mode of vibration, that is when we'll consider the value of n as 2. So substituting the value of n as 2 over here, we get 4 minus 1, that is 3 lambda 2 by 4. So corresponding to n equals to 2, the length of the pipe, it would be given by 3 lambda 2 divided by 4. Here students, lambda 2 is the wavelength of the stationary wave setup corresponding to n equals to 2, right? Or lambda 2, it may be written as 4L by 3. So students, this is the length of the pipe, and let's draw the corresponding or relevant diagram. So this is the pipe, isn't it? Here corresponding to n equals to 1, here corresponding to n equals to 1, there is one node and one antinode. So corresponding to n equals to 2, that is for the second mode of vibration, there will be 2 nodes and 2 antinodes, right? So at the open end, it's the antinode. At the closed end, it's the position of the node. So over here, it would be again node, and over here, it will be antinode, right? So the distance between an antinode and a node is lambda by 4. So lambda by 4, lambda by 4, lambda by 4. So that will give us 3 lambda by 4. So the length of the pipe is 3 lambda 2 divided by 4. So the diagram would be like this. At the free end, it will be the position of antinode, while At the closed end, it will be the position of node. So this will be the diagram, right? Corresponding to n equals to 1, there is one node, one antinode. Corresponding to n equals to 2, there are two nodes and two antinodes. So students, the frequency corresponding to the second mode of vibration, it would be given by V by lambda 2, isn't it? Now substitute this value of lambda 2 over here. So what you get is V divided by lambda 2 is 4L by 3, right? So compare these two. Fundamental frequency, which is nu1 equals to V by 4L. So it is clear that nu2 is equal to thrice of nu1. Now in the previous lecture also we have discussed that nu2 is 3 times the fundamental frequency. So this is known as the third harmonic. So this nu2, it is known as the first overtone. The fundamental frequency is known as the pitch of the tone. So nu2 is known as the first overtone. And since nu2 is equal to 3 times the fundamental frequency, that is why it is also known as the third harmonic. It is also known as third harmonic, right? Now corresponding to n equals to 3, the length of this pipe would be given by 5 lambda 3 by 4. Now look students, for the third mode of vibration, we will substitute the value of n equals to 3 in this particular equation, right? So if you substitute the value of n equals to 3 over here, we get 6 minus 1, that is 5 lambda 3 by 4. That is what I have written over here. So the length of this organ pipe is 5 lambda 3 by 4. So lambda 3, it may be written as 4L divided by 5, right? So it is 4L divided by 5. Now students, what we do is, here corresponding to n equals to 1, there is one node and one antinode. Corresponding to n equals to 2, there are two nodes and two antinodes. So following the same sequence, corresponding to n equals to 3, we should have 3 nodes and 3 antinodes. And the distance between two successive nodes or two successive antinodes is lambda by 2. And the distance between a node and the successive antinode is lambda by 4. So these are the key points which we need to remember, right? So for n equals to 3, we will have 3 nodes and 3 antinodes. So let's represent it with the help of this diagram. So at the closed end, it's the case of an antinode, where at the open end, we are aware it's the position of an antinode, right? So this must be again node, and this must be also node. And in between nodes, there must be antinode. And students, remember, distance between node, antinode and a node is lambda by 4. So this is lambda by 4, lambda by 4, lambda by 4, lambda by 4, lambda by 4. That is 5 lambda by 4, isn't it? Lambda by 4, 2 lambda by 4, 3 lambda by 4, 4 lambda by 4, and this one is 5 lambda by 4. That is what we have obtained over here. So this distance, the length of the pipe, it is equivalent to 5 lambda by 4. So corresponding to n equals to 3, the diagram would be like this. Antinodes are the positions where the amplitude is maximum, while nodes are the positions where the amplitude is minimum, right? So the diagram would be like this. So this is the diagram corresponding to the third mode of vibration. So the frequency corresponding to third mode of vibration would be nu3. Obviously frequency is velocity divided by wavelength. So substitute this value of lambda 3 over here. So we get lambda 3 is 4L divided by 5. So compare it with the fundamental frequency. Fundamental frequency nu1 is V by 4L, right? So nu 3, it comes out to be equal to 5 times nu 1. This nu 3, students, it is known as the second overtone, right? It is known as the second overtone. This is the pitch of the tone, this is the first overtone, this is the second overtone. This was 3 times the fundamental frequency, so that's why it's known as third harmonic. Here nu 3 is 5 times the fundamental frequency. So accordingly it must be known as the fifth harmonic. It is known as the fifth harmonic. So nu 3 is known as the fifth harmonic. The important point to be noted is that in case of a closed organ pipe, that is when we are considering a pipe with one end closed and the other end open, in such a case, as we have found, the higher frequencies, they are the odd multiples of the fundamental frequency. Here nu 2 is equal to 3 times nu 1, here nu 3 is equal to 5 times nu 1, similarly nu 4 would be equal to 7 times nu 1 and so on. So basically, in this case, only odd harmonics are present. This is the third harmonic, this is the fifth harmonic, and there will be seventh harmonic, ninth harmonic. So, in the case of a closed organ pipe, only and only odd harmonics are present. Students, let us discuss the facts at a glance for the closed organ pipe in the form of this chart, right? This is the mode of vibration. This is the first or the fundamental, then second, third, fourth, and so on. And this is for the nth mode of vibration. So let's start with the first or the fundamental frequency or the mode of vibration. So this corresponds to n equals to 1, right? So this fundamental frequency, it is also known as the first harmonic, and it is known as the fundamental tone. It is known as the fundamental tone. Now students, this is the general expression for the wavelength, isn't it, for a closed organ pipe. Now, corresponding to n equals to 1, lambda, which is the wavelength, it would be given by, if you substitute the value of n equals to 1 over here, we'll get lambda is equal to 4L divided by 1. So wavelength lambda 1, it would be equal to 4L. Now in case of n equals to 1, we are aware number of antinodes is 1, number of nodes is also equal to 1. And the frequency, this is the general expression for the frequency. For first or the fundamental frequency, the value of n is 1. So here we'll get frequency nu 1. It would be equal to V by 4L. Right? Similarly, we can proceed for the second, third, and so on. For the second mode of vibration, the value of n is to be considered as 2. So this is actually the third harmonic. In the case n equals to 2, we have obtained that it is 5 times the fundamental 3 times the fundamental frequency. So actually this is the third harmonic. And this is known as the first overtone. And in case of n equals to 1, there is one antinode, one node. In case of n equals to 2, there will be 2 antinodes and 2 nodes. And wavelength would be lambda 2. Substitute the value of n equals to 2 over here. So we get 4L divided by 3. And frequency, students. Here the value of n is to be substituted as 2. So 4 minus 1, that is 3V divided by 4L. As you can check, nu 2 is equal to 3 times nu 1. That is the reason why it is known as a third harmonic. Right? For n equals to 3, that is, let's consider the third mode of vibration. So in that case, it is also known as the fifth harmonic, or it is known as the second overtone. And corresponding to n equals to 3, there will be 3 antinodes and 3 nodes, right? And lambda 3 would be, here substitute the value of n equals to 3, so we get 4l by 5. And students, frequency nu 3, it would be equal to, here substitute the value of n as 3, so we get, here nu is equal to 2n minus 1 v by 4l. So substitute the value of n as 3 over here, so we get 5v by 4l. So compare it with nu 1. Nu 1 is the fundamental frequency. It's v by 4l and here it's 5v by 4l. Therefore nu 3 is equal to 5 times nu 1. So that is the reason why it is known as the fifth harmonic. For the fourth mode of vibration, it is known as the seventh harmonic. It contains only the odd harmonics, remember that. And it is also known as the third overtone. Right? It is known as the third overtone. So corresponding to n equals to 4, it will have 4 antinodes and 4 nodes. So lambda 4 over here, it would be given by, substitute the value of n as 4 over here. So we get 4l divided by 8 minus 1, that will give us 7. And in case of frequency, nu 4, it would be given by, the value of n is 4. So 4 to the 8 minus 1, that is 7v divided by 4l. Again look students, nu 4 is equal to 7 times the fundamental frequency, and that is the reason it is also known as the seventh harmonic. So similarly we can proceed for the nth mode of vibration. Now for the nth mode of vibration, it will be known as 2n minus 1th harmonic, right? And here it is known as n minus 1th overtone. It will be known as n minus 1th overtone. And obviously for n equals to n, it will have n antinodes and n nodes. And frequency, it is given by nu, it's equal to, already I've written the general term over here, 2n minus 1 v by 4l. And the wavelength, its general term for the nth mode of vibration would be 4l divided by 2n minus 1. Right? So this is a summary chart of all the harmonics in the case of closed organ pipe. So students, I hope you have understood all the concepts clearly. Do practice, as this article is pretty important from examination point of view, right? So we have discussed the sound produced in the various modes of vibration in the case of a closed organ pipe. There are certain musical instruments in which sound is produced by vibration of air columns. The simplest vibration of air column occurs in cylindrical tubes of uniform diameter. Such sound producing tubes are called organ pipes. The tube which is open at both ends is called an open organ pipe, and the tube which is closed at one end and open at the other is called a closed organ pipe. In the present episode, we have discussed the case of a closed organ pipe. Now let us watch this animation which will illustrate what happens when a plunger is used to scan the effective length of a pipe driven by a tuning fork. 3 different cases are shown for a set of increasing frequencies. Actually, this animation shows that standing waves can resonate in a pipe. The resonance occurs in an open or closed pipe where an odd integer number of quarter wavelength fits exactly in the length of the cavity of the pipe.